Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I'm Conrad, and this is the 45, Week 23, the Sunday and Monday matches. We were tired yesterday, and even more tired after all the nonsense today. Some good stuff, really interesting. What a day. Started with Villa 1-0 Chelsea, Burnley, Brighton draw, Newcastle down to 9 men in a thriller 3-2 over Southampton, a violent conduct red for Thomas Soucek that has to be rescinded, I would imagine. Their draw 0-0 with Fulham, and a Dominic Calvert-Lewin bundling the ball over the line in the dying moments of stoppage time to draw with Man United.
That Soucek red, they have to, I think, go to the dictionary for the definition of the word violent. It's not violent.
I don't get that.
And the Everton match, that match was one of the best ones I've seen all season, for all the right reasons. It was bad defending, great attacking, back and forth comebacks, late drama. That was beautiful.
The Bruno Fernandes goal was that's what he's unbelievable with that ball.
Yeah, he is.
First up tomorrow, Spurs West Brom. Spurs have gone from free scoring at the beginning of the season to disciplined defense and quick on the break to mistake prone on defense and can't score. Granted, they're without Harry Kane, but this is kind of a pattern that we've seen in the Premier League with Mourinho. I like to pick on him, I guess. I don't really like to. It's just this is the pattern that we can see, right? They now lost 3 in a row. Liverpool, Brighton, Chelsea, their last win coming over Sheffield United. Here they face another team in the relegation zone. And again, no Harry Kane. They've not scored in the 2 matches he's missed, and defensively they have not looked very good. They've been giving the ball away, making a lot of uncharacteristic Jose Mourinho mistakes. Sam Allardyce, fully fit squad, but they've only taken 4 points from their last 15 matches. 1 win in 5. Last 2 opponents were the relegation roommates, Fulham a 2-2 draw and Sheffield United a 2-1 loss. Both 6-pointers that they did not come out on the right side of. Hard to imagine that they can do something against Spurs, but if there's a team you'd want to play right now, it's probably Spurs.
Oh, yeah. You hit the point on that nail on the head right there at the last point. I'm very interested in how they react because, as you also saw my points, 6-pointers that they've failed to capitalize on. And so,
Sorry.
You're good. Sheffield United, I think it was big for them to get those points, and so they're going to need to make up some ground. And so they need to try and get some results, get some upsets going. Were very good at the beginning of Allardyce, where they were getting some improved performances, some better results, but it's looking a little shaky. Spurs, on the other hand, this is, I think, a must-win for both teams. Maybe not a must-win for West Brom, like a must-good performance at the very least. For Spurs, it's a must-win, though, because if you have any serious hopes of being a top 4 team, even a top 6 team, you need to get these points. You're a bit benefit that Arsenal lost points today, and Man United, who you can't really call them your competitors because you're 12 points behind them, albeit with 2 games in hand. You need these points. And I expect them to be a bit more open, maybe. I think they should play Vinicius. I think he has at least something in comparison to the other options. But without Kane, they're always going to struggle. But I agree with you. I can't see them losing, and I expect them to do decently well. The points should be Spurs.
It depends what Allardyce does here, right? Because if he sits back, it's going to be really hard for Spurs to do anything. That's the worst possible thing you could do against this Spurs side. Is just play low block, play 10 guys behind the ball.
It may just be 2 low blocks, just like waiting for just a war, essentially, where there's no man's land in the middle.
It's just the ball standing in the middle of the field.
And they're like, who's going to go for it? Yeah, exactly.
Wolves, Leicester. Wolves are hurting. In the win over Arsenal, they had only 8 guys on the bench of the 9 that they can have. We've talked about their issues scoring over and over again, but Moutinho got the goal from open play in the win over Gunners. So that's something to build on, right? But that's their lone win in 5, just 1 other point from those 5 matches, a lot like West Brom we just talked about. Leicester coming off the 2-0 over Fulham. Vardy may be available for selection here by Brendan Rodgers. Ndidi maybe. Fofana, Castagne still out for Leicester.
Yeah, a lot of missing players for both of these sides, which is going to reduce the quality of the match a little bit because we talk about it every week, why this league has been so great. It's been because of these other 14 sides that have been just drastically improved. And these have been 2 of the best ones. Last year, Leicester finishing just outside the top 4, and Wolves, who have been very good since returning to the Premier League. So this will be a bit lower quality because of the players that are missing, as you mentioned. But Wolves will be glad they got the win when they did against Arsenal because they'll have a bit of optimism. They'll be, I think, know that they can score some goals. Yes, it took Arsenal having 10 men and then 9 men at one point, but you broke your duck of sorts. And if Vardy's back for Leicester, I think they'll still have a lot of confidence, and they may rehash some disappointment on Wolves. But it should be a good one. I think a draw is very plausible, but I think Leicester just about edge it.
Yeah, I see this as a draw. I think Wolves are just going to figure out a way to. It's 1-1, 0-0, something like that. The entire left side of Wolves just doesn't exist right now. Like, they're all so, but they've got center backs playing out on the wings. You know, it's the opposite problem that some of these other Premier League clubs have had, like Liverpool and Man City. War of words between Klopp and Guardiola. Klopp baiting Guardiola. Guardiola looks like he took the bait. Who gives a patoot? Blah, blah. Let's play football. Looking like another different center back pairing for Liverpool. Maybe see one of these two new signings. I can't see two new signings playing side by side in that center back pairing for Klopp's side here. But if Fabinho, he may be fit, so that could be a new pairing with Kabak and Davies. City will not have Aguero, Ake, De Bruyne. That KDB injury, that could be the difference in the midfield in this matchup, because that's likely where it's going to end up happening. You know, City are scoring more from the midfield than they are from their forwards without Aguero. But this is, I don't know. They're coming off the 1-0 loss to Brighton, second loss at home after having that streak broken by Burnley. City have won 9 Premier League games in a row, unbeaten over 13 in that period in the league. That's a snoozer. I think the pre-match commentary is going to be more interesting. This match actually will be.
I hope that's not the case, because we hyped up that Man United Liverpool game a couple weeks back.
That's always what happens.
And that was just no.
Clunker.
I don't think this one's going to be like that. I think that's just that fixture is just lets down a lot more recently, except in the FA Cup. It was a pretty good match in the FA Cup.
True.
It's like I don't know what the saying is. Is it like London buses, and you wait a while and then 2 come at once with the losses to Burnley and Brighton at home. I think they'll want to avoid a third one in a row. I don't expect Liverpool to lose this game, but I see a draw very, very likely. I would be interested where the Klopp decides to go in terms of the center back situation, because if Fabinho's fit, I think you try and free him into the midfield, because Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, at least recently for Bernardo Silva, have been in great form. Gundogan, should I say.
He scored. Yeah,
he has been a Player of the Year candidate in the Premier League. Ruben Diaz has been phenomenal. Stones has been great for them. Cancelo has been phenomenal. I forget if he plays right or left back for them right now. Wherever he plays, he's been brilliant. I think City have the better form, obviously, the better talent, and I think the home edge of Liverpool, they'll want to defend. Yes, it's an empty stadium. They'll want to defend it a bit stronger, so I anticipate a draw like you do. I think it may be a bit more exciting, but I think that the spoils are shared at Anfield.
Next up, Sheffield United and Chelsea. Chelsea unbeaten under Thomas Tuchel, 3 matches. Sheffield United undefeated in their last 1 match. But considering where each of these clubs were, that's progress.
Yes.
Right? Sheffield United's winners of 3 of their last 5, now just 4 points behind Fulham in 18th, but 12 points clear of safety. That 17th spot owned right now by Burnley. Chelsea probably not having Thiago Silva. He got injured against Spurs. Still just the 3 goals in the 3 matches under Tuchel thus far, 2 of them by defenders, as we've talked about. Sheffield United pretty good against Chelsea last year, winning 3-0 at Bramall Lane and drawing at the Bridge. Chris Wilder's figured something out because their scoring output has increased, but you come up against a Tuchel tactic side, and I'm not sure that they'll be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, last 5, only match they didn't score in was against Man City, and that was a 1-0 loss. So Man City have been best defensive side in the league this season, which still tells me that they've only conceded 13 goals. A Pep Guardiola side is known for their defensive prowess.
It's 10 fewer than last year, and that's down to Ruben Diaz, but we won't talk about that.
100% down to that. I think Sheffield United will be very happy with all of their last 5 performances, even extending back to that. Beyond that, they've had some good performances for a few weeks now, and they're finally starting to get some results. And it's such a difference, those 9 points making their last 9 points up to 11. And obviously, I never really kind of clocked the big gap. There's still less than half the amount of points of Burnley to get to safety. But, I mean, progress is progress. You can only get 3 points per match. And I see this as a potential trap game for Chelsea. They probably have bigger things in mind, especially after seeing both Arsenal and Man United drop points today, and one of Man City and Liverpool will drop points. They may get a little too looking too far ahead. No Thiago Silva is going to be a big loss for them. That being said, I think under Tuchel they're much more organized than they were under Lampard, and I anticipate them to take these points. So I would be surprised. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised, but I expect Chelsea to take the points.
Last up, the Monday match, Leeds at Ellen Road against Crystal Palace. Leeds 2 wins, 3 losses over the last 5. Will be without Rodrigo and Poveda. 11th on 29 points. Level on points with Palace, but you cross over that 10th spot into 11th, and that goes from positive goal difference to negative goal difference. Leeds -2, Crystal Palace -10. With a win, both of these teams, either one, whomever wins, could go 10th, skipping over Arsenal, as we talked about. They lost to Villa earlier today. Palace will be without Zaha, which is tough for them. Their injury list is ridiculous. Ferguson, Hennessy, Sacco, Schlupp, Tompkins, Wickham, definitely out. MacArthur, and Ward, maybes. That's unbelievable, right? I mean, this has to favor Leeds, just based on that alone.
Well, we get beat over the head every week with how bad Liverpool's injury crisis is, but there are a lot of clubs that are just very, very short on players right now. You mentioned
this
Wolves
and Wolves
earlier.
rivals that.
Yeah,
They're worse.
I mean, obviously, I think there's probably more marquee talent missing at Liverpool, but they rival them in terms of, well, they're still important to us. We still need our players to play our matches.
Those are all the guys that are viable first-team players. Sacco and Schlupp are always in that side.
Yeah, and so this is definitely one that favors Leeds. Then again, very inconsistent. We say it every time with Leeds that
good Leeds, bad Leeds.
Yeah, good Leeds, bad Leeds. They've had three losses, 2 wins in their last 5. I think Leeds win this, if not just because of how little talent Crystal Palace have available because of the amount of injuries they have. It'd be very impressive if they got points. Even a point away at Ellen Road would be a great result for Palace. But I anticipate Leeds probably take this one.
Agreed. I think it's a 2-0, 2-1, unless the wheels completely fall off on this. But who knows? This has been a crapshoot this entire season. Those are the final 5. As well as a little bit of the first 5 for this weekend. Match week 23. Jack, Conrad, 45. Please let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe. Please do subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button. Look for us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.